Walaikum assalam.
Need to do that. बैठ जाएं.
Thank you, sir.
Mir Saab, you are from Wazirabad.
Yes, sir.
Why are you called Mir? Who are the Mirs?
Sir, Mir is a Kashmiri sub-Muslim clan. We migrated from Valley of Kashmir.
कुछ डिटेल बता सकते हैं?
Sir, Mirs are like butts and dars. So the people say that Mirs have ancestry in Sayyids of Persia. We believe to be...
कश्मीरी हो?
Yes, sir.
कहाँ से कश्मीर से?
Sir,
Do you know your background?
Yes, sir. It is in the Srinagar. The village near Srinagar is known as Nogam with the 9 streams. That's why it's known as Nogam. So we are from there.
सोच समझ के जवाब दीजिएगा मेरे सवाल का. पाकिस्तान इंडिया relations can be expressed in a very short phrase. That is fractured past and uncertain future. Elaborate on this, please. Give me your comments.
Sir, Pakistan-India relations have been fractured because from the very beginning we have not been able to form good neighborly relations. We fought many wars, including a recent one, and the future is also very uncertain given that both are the nuclear powers and both are not trying to form some kind of consensus building on Kashmir issue. Therefore, the future is indeed certain given that the Modi is now bent upon creating some kind of regional hegemony or controlled dominance. We expect much more hostility between the two in the future.
What are our major issues with India?
Sir, we primarily have issue in Kashmir. Then there's a Kargil issue, which is a kind of subsidiary of Kashmir. Sir, there's a Kargil issue.
Kargil तो खत्म हो गया यार. It was just a skirmish. खत्म हो गई थी वो. It doesn't continue. It is not lingering on. Go ahead.
So the Sar Creek issue, we are kind of still confused about the Sar Creek. And then there is the issue of Siachen.
What is the water issue?
So now India thinks that Pakistan has got more share than it deserves and they have suspended the Indus Water Treaty and trying to control the flow of water into Pakistan.
When was it signed?
It's 1960.
अभी क्या है?
So 2025, they sent us a message in
65 साल के बाद होश आया उनको.
Sir, I think that the circumstances have changed. Today we need more water than what we needed in 1960s. They need water for their agriculture industry. We also need water for our agriculture industry.
My question doesn't relate to what we need. We need 10 more dams. My question relates to our relations with India. What benefits did we get from signing the Indus Water Treaty in 1960?
Sir, we got some additional funds for building of canals and dams. We got share of 3 particular rivers, and there was also minimal water that India is supposed to provide in the 3 rivers that they got.
Initial funds for building dams. Can you elaborate on this, please? Can you be more specific? Which dams are you talking about or have in mind?
So the 1960 treaty was conducted or negotiated by World Bank. We got, I think, around 800 million to build dam Mangla and Tarbela, and our friends also provided up some kind of support.
एक और डैम भी था, 3 डैम.
I'm sorry, sir, I am unable to recall that.
क्या पढ़ा है आपने? Political science. Karl Popper's. 1 minute. Sum up his political philosophy, please.
So the Karl Popper's idea is that, like in physics, like in science, that there is no objectivity in the terms of that we cannot measure the truth of any experiment by consistently measuring. We have to have some kind of deniability characteristics. So he implies that into political science and then say that every modern political philosophy should be criticized and the truth should hold by the opinion of people. There is no particular truth that can be held by determining it objectively.
The end justifies the means. Whose political philosophy does it sum up?
So it's Machiavelli's political philosophy. He was of the view that there are no good ends, there are also just good means, and it is useless to pursue political objectives by methods that are bound to fail. Therefore, methods are more important than the objectives that one sets.
Last question. How is the President of Pakistan elected? Underline the word how.
So, President of Pakistan is elected by the central assemblies and the parliament and the provincial assemblies. So there's a formula which gives a kind of equal representation to each province. So if the total length of any assembly is PI, then the formula, if the person vote gets VI vote, then the VI times the strength of the parliament over the combined strength of the all provinces.
How do they work out this formula?
I'm sorry, sir, I don't know.
तो मैंने कहा था underline करें how. Thank you, David sir.
Your subjects that you took in CSS are Maths 1, Maths 2, Psychology, Criminology, and then Political Science 1, Political Science 2. Okay. Dr. Abdul Salam's name, have you ever heard of his name?
Yes, sir. He got Nobel Prize in
Nobel
1970.
Prize. Why did he get the Nobel Prize? What was the basic work that he did?
Sir, he combined the electroweak, which is known as the electroweak unification, the combination of the electromagnetic force and the weak nuclear force. So he showed that in the early stages of the universe, the both forces are actually the same. So he discovered a symmetry that when we are close to the early universe, when gravity is very high, and the particular symmetry that has been broken to the progression of time was not there, then these two forces are actually one.
Okay. One of your hobbies is to grow plants. There's a Japanese technology which allows growth, but only which is required. And the trees which generally gain the heights of say 12 or 20 or 30 or 70 feet, they are restricted to say 2 feet or 3 feet. What is that technology called?
Sir, I think they are known as bonsai plants.
Bonsai
However,
plants.
I particularly grow the
But what
avocados.
exactly happens? How do they maintain that? How do they do that? How would they attain that?
So it is a long-term process, usually takes maybe 20 to 25 years. Okay. So they restrict the growth by using wires, and they prune the unnecessary branches. So that's how they try to manage. And there is people also say that they somehow also add some externalities like artificial things to create that particular shape. So I'm not aware of actual technique. However, the general understanding is that they actually restrict the growth by wiring the plants and by adding some kind of elements or the chemicals I'm not aware of.
Okay. One observation, your domicile is Punjab. Punjab is a province, it's not a district. Domicile comes from the district. So you must correct that fact. Okay, Noam Chomsky is one of your favorite writers, favorite personalities. Why so?
Sir, I admire Noam Chomsky because of his criticism of US unilateralism and militarism. He, despite being a Jew, supports Palestinians' struggle for independent state, and he criticizes the apartheid policies of Israel.
Did he talk on the genocide which took place in Palestine or which took place in Gaza?
Yes, sir. He always talks about that. In fact, he has written a book on Palestine in 2015, which particularly...
2015 is too old. See, this has happened in 2025, 2024. So what did he say on that?
Sir, in the recent one?
In the recent one, yeah.
Yes, sir,
that is the recent happening.
I did listen to one of his videos in 2023, in which he did criticize...
Again 2023. I'm talking of 2025.
Sir, I think he is very old, and that's why he is unable to speak.
Okay. Similarly, what has been the role of United Nations as far as Gaza is concerned?
So, United Nations seems to have a kind of paralyzed by the vetoes of United States. though General Assembly has passed many resolutions in the support of Palestine, and in fact added Palestine as a member state in the General Assembly, the all of the Security Council is paralyzed due to consistent support of USA in particular. I think that the recent plan that Donald Trump presented in United Nations kind of gave some kind of, I would say, rights to the Palestinian people. However, I do not think that plan would be implemented in its entirety.
What, in your view, is United Nations still a vibrant organization? Could do justice in future? Will deliver something in future? Or there is a big change which is required in that organization?
So I think at the current within the current structure, United Nations would not be able to stop the global conflicts or do something very productive for the globe. They have been doing some peacekeeping missions or health-related issues in the climate diplomacy. However, I think there should be more non-permanent members in UN Security Council, and when it comes to human rights or genocide, then General Assembly should be given more rights.
Okay. COP30 took place. Where did it take place, and what final decisions were taken? Was there any impasse as far as final communique was concerned?
So the recent COP30 was taken in Belém, Brazil. So they said that this COP would focus on the implementation side rather than just talking. So they created an accelerated implementation mechanism to implement the previously agreed provisions, as well as to generate and find the finance, 1.3 trillion of finance. However, there was impasse regarding the fossil fuels and who would provide these finances. So they in fact said that the finances should be tripled till 2035. However, they have not set the base from which it would be tripled, and which countries would provide them, and how that would affect the global balance of the emissions of carbon dioxide.
Okay, we have floods, and it is because of the global warming. What is our contribution as far as global warming is concerned, and what measures need to be taken by Pakistan to avoid that?
So we are, I think, contributing 0.88% to the global carbon emissions. Our carbon consumption footprint is less than 1%. Despite that, we are reaping the wrongdoings of the other countries. So when it comes to the measures that we should take, first we should take mitigation measures and adaptations measures. On the mitigation side, I think we are performing very well. We have reduced our carbon footprint. We have introduced new electric vehicle policy. We are afforesting. However, on the adaptation side, I think we are not performing very well. And that's why we have floods. We do not have significant early warning systems. We have no plans to rehabilitate or provide an alternative residences to the people that are affected by floods. And in fact, the flood management was very poor, given that it was my area that was considerably affected. I know from personal experience that the district administration arrived much later. Even the breaches that were made in the barrages, in the banks, were too late. And that's why there was a chance when the Kadrabad barrage was about to fall. So I think in coordination, in financing and developing the modern infrastructure that is required to control floods are needed here. For example, in Australia, they have an automated system to control the flow of floods in all channels. Without going at the particular area, they're able to control the flow in each canal, in each district, in everywhere. So I think that kind of system is needed to control flood in Pakistan. Otherwise, we would be facing floods every year.
Thank you, Bete. Over to you, ma'am.
Why civil service?
I think it is the only job that provides a kind of combination for public service and personal growth. So if I am in private sector, I would not be able to contribute to public. And if I'm in academia, the personal growth would be much lower. Therefore, I think that it is the only job which provides a kind of combination, and person remains connected to the people. as a PES officer, I would be able to affect the people at the very low level, and also would be able to furnish policies that would impact the entire Pakistan. So I think the combination of both is what inspires me.
तो वज़ीराबाद की population क्या है?
Madam, Wazirabad's population is around 1 million.
1 million. So if you suppose, and inshallah, if you become a PAS officer, so what do you think, what is lacking in Wazirabad which you would like to upgrade or add value to it, or corrective measures, what is required to be done there?
Madam, I think first I would try to add some water purification plants. We do not have any of them there, and the water quality is very low in there. Moreover, many of the factories of cutleries are created on the roadsides of Wazirabad, and the result is that all of the major roads are very noxious. So these industries should be moved to somewhere else. The third thing is that there is an open burning. We have air quality index of 149, which should be of the city. However, despite being 64% rural, there is a significant deterioration of air quality, and that is due to the burning of the fields. So first I would stop that. The third thing is that I would try to get funds to widen the Palkhu Nala, which has around 5 cubic capacity. However, it should be increased to 10 to 15 cubic, given that it is on the bank of the river Chenab. These are the few things that I would do.
Who built GT Road?
I think it is built by Sher Shah Suri.
Who was Sher Shah Suri?
He was a general in the Mughal era.
Tell me more about him. I want to know what contributions did he have towards this area.
Madam, I'm sorry, I don't know.
What problems at the time of independence Pakistan inherited? What were the initial teething problems Pakistan had?
We had no funds. Most of the funds were in the banks in India, and they refused to provide us these funds. So there was issue of funds. We also had a problem with the civil service. Civil service was not organized at that time, and therefore we had to reorganize the entire structure. The third issue was the issue of the migrated population. Around 5 to 6 million people migrated from the Indian Punjab, and that created a kind of chaos here. On the legal side, the issues were of the lack of the constitution and what kind of measures we would have to create, that we need to create a balance between East and the West.
There was no constitution then?
The constitution was there, that was of 1935, that we inherited. However, the later debates which began were related to distribution of power between the East and the West, and that created a significant trouble.
Who was Maulana Zafar Ali Khan? What contribution did he have towards the Pakistan movement?
And he is known for journalism. He was from Wazirabad city. In fact, his mazar is also in Wazirabad city.
तो रोल क्या प्ले किया था पाकिस्तान मूवमेंट? जर्नलिज्म तो है, फाउंडेशन था उनका जर्नलिज्म ही.
I'm sorry, I do not know of any particular role he played.
What was the newspaper जो वो निकालते थे, उसका क्या नाम?
I think it was Zamindar.
Which was the first country to recognize Pakistan?
Iran first recognized Pakistan.
And which countries till today don't recognize Pakistan?
I think Israel does not recognize Pakistan.
And there is one another.
I'm sorry, I do not know of that.
Okay. Political science. What is the principle of utility?
The principle of utility, which is the foundation of utilitarianism, was given by Jeremy Bentham. The idea is that everything that has utility should be promoted. So the norms, the values, the policies should be determined on the basis of utility. So if, for example, what is to be done, Priestley says that all of the social institutions that would promote social and economic growth would be considered beneficial and good, and all of the social institutions that do not contribute to the economic and social development of people should be shunned. So this is the idea of utility.
Explain Al-Ghazali's theory of Khilafat. What should the 4 obligations of a Caliph?
So in Al-Ghazali's theory, the idea is that state and the Khalifa and the Sultan are kind of twins. So they are brothers. So the four conditions that you are referring to are that regarding the choosing of Khalifa, he should be an abbasid, he should be able to burden the war, he should have sufficient sagacity to understand the needs of the time, and he should have learned some Quran and Hadith and etc.
Psychology. How does perception differ from sensation?
Sensation is a raw experience. Perception is a more structured thing. For example, if we see a engine, the sensation would be that there is a hot object. On the perception level, we would recognize that it is an engine. So sensation could be seen as a kind of early initiation in the neural network. However, perception involves the frontal cortex, which then try to understand what kind of object is out there. So the localization, identification, and abstraction are the three qualities of perception that distinguish it from sensation.
Thanks.
Ji, Mir Sahab, I'll discuss your strengths first. You have a mature personality. You remained confident and very well composed. ये जो बातें मुझे आप में अच्छी लगी, उससे ज़्यादा जो अच्छी बात नज़र आई मुझे, you were relaxed.
Thank you, sir.
Normally candidates, to be honest, candidates नहीं होते. They are tense, they are nervous, they are jittery. I found you to be composed, confident and relaxed. पहले कभी तजर्बा हुआ है इंटरव्यूज देने का?
सर पैनल इंटरव्यू पहले तो मैं यहाँ पर आता हूँ, लेकिन पैनल फर्स्ट है मेरा.
Good verbal and non-verbal communication. In general terms, you spoke with a good degree of conviction. गलत भी बोले आप, लेकिन you spoke with conviction. जो tentative answers होते हैं, वो नहीं आपने ज़्यादा दिए. I think you can do it with a little bit of hard work.
Sure, sir.
अब हार्ड वर्क किधर चाहिए? जनरल नॉलेज. हु वाज फरीद खान?
No idea.
रोटास फोर्ट किसने बनाया था?
No idea.
There you are, you see. शेर शाह सूरी का असल नाम फरीद खान था. रोटास फोर्ट भी उसी ने बनाया था. ये एग्जाम्पल दे रहा हूँ बीच में से. Then knowledge about Pakistan. 8,000 कोई आइडिया नहीं आपको. और भी चीज़ें तो जो याद आ रहा है मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. You must, I'm going to sideline it. ये जो पॉइंट मैंने लिखा है. You need to engage the panel by giving detailed answers and more important, in the proper sequence.
Sure, sir.
और डाइग्रेस नहीं करना आपने. कितनी दफ़ा आपको टोका गया? सवाल कुछ है, जवाब आप कुछ दे रहे हो. सीक्वेंस सवाल का कुछ है, जवाब आप उल्टा दे रहे हो. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात है. नहीं, मैं साइडलाइन कर दी.
Sure, sir.
स्टिक टू द, लिसन टू द क्वेश्चन केयरफुली. और उसका जो सीक्वेंस है उसको अपने फॉलो करना. राइट? ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट्स को आपने ब्रश अप करना. गो कि आप 2-3 सवालों के जवाब में अच्छा बोले भी हो.
Sure, sir.
बट ओवरऑल पिक्चर अगर हम देखें, जनरल नॉलेज में काफ़ी कमज़ोर हो आप. नॉलेज अबाउट पाकिस्तान, इसकी माफ़ी कोई नहीं है.
Sure, sir.
अभी हमारे पास टाइम नहीं है कि हम बहुत सारे सवाल पूछें, लेकिन सैम्पलिंग जो की है उससे ये अंदाज़ा होता है कि यू आर वीक इन योर नॉलेज अबाउट योर ओन कंट्री.
Sure, sir.
And you need to brush up your optional subjects. Do that, you have a good chance. Given your strength, I am sure you will be able to make it.
Thank you, sir.
Your energy level is also quite good. Stress absorption is marvelous. Weaknesses. You did repeat question
Sorry, sir.
initially. Repeating question is criminal. That indicates that you are not attentive. So take care of that. Use of hands became visible at times. Okay. You resorted to guesswork. Don't think you can do it. and do it convincingly. Okay. Whatever replies you give, you must be on sure footing on that. You must have a good confidence level while you are responding. Okay, current affairs, Pakistan affairs, you need to be on your fingertips. Knowledge base needs to be improved.
Sure, sir.
See, if you can do that, you stand a very good chance. Mark my words.
Gee, I agree with my seniors would have they have given their assessment about you. I would only add कि आपके शहर से एक ही मौलाना ज़फ़र अली ख़ान एक मशहूर शख्सियत है, उनके बारे में तो आपको पूरा पता होना चाहिए। अगर वो अखबार निकालते थे तो उस अखबार के ज़रिए बहुत बड़ा काम होगा पाकिस्तान मूवमेंट का। तो ये जो पाकिस्तान के बारे में ना आपको चीज़ें नहीं पता, अभी तो मैंने ज़्यादा पूछा भी नहीं पाकिस्तान के बारे में, तो आपको नहीं, आपको अभी 2 कंट्रीज़ हैं जो पाकिस्तान को रिकग्नाइज नहीं करती हैं, आपको दूसरी कंट्री का भी नहीं पता। सो काइंडली brush up your knowledge and inshallah you will do well.